My beloved child, listen deeply within your soul tonight. The very breath that breathed life into Adam's body, formed from the dust at the beginning, is now covering you as well. That same breath moved across the valley of dry bones in Ezekiel's vision, where everything seemed utterly dead, and caused scattered bones to rise into an army filled with life. Come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon these slain, that they may live. And Ezekiel, my beloved child, I am still the God of life today. Nothing within you is too dry or barren for my breath to revive. I am breathing my life into the places within you that have known weariness for far too long. I am touching every wounded area that no one but I fully understands. I am moving through every blood vessel, every joint, every weakened cell, every nerve strained by too much pressure. But I am also touching places deeper than the body, where your soul has grown, exhausted from anxiety, where your mind is filled with voices that make you doubt yourself, where your heart was once wounded so deeply that it no longer dared to hope. My beloved child, my breath does not only restore physical life, it awakens the parts of you that seem to have gone silent long ago. I know there are days when you feel as though you are dragging yourself through life with shoulders far too heavy. There are nameless sorrows clinging to your heart, making even the most ordinary things feel unbearable. But I am removing that garment of weariness from you. He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak, as in Isaiah 40-29. When dawn comes, you will begin to feel a renewal that no human words could ever create. It will not be merely a passing emotion that fades away, but a deep relief within your soul. When you wake tomorrow morning, the circumstances around you may not change completely at once, but something within you will be different. I will place within your heart a peace you could not explain before. You will feel as though a gentle stream of light is passing through the places that were once darkest. The invisible burden on your shoulders will begin to lift. Your mind will become less chaotic. Your soul will breathe more freely. This is not imagination, my beloved child. It is my touch upon your life. Just as Bartimaeus, after his eyes were opened, no longer sat by the roadside in darkness, I am also leading you out of the old place of despair and into a land of light and new hope. But what I am doing tonight goes even deeper than physical restoration. I am renewing your very soul. There is faith within you that was once shaken by waiting and disappointment. There are hopes that slowly faded after too much pain. There are flames of love in your heart that grew cold because they had been wounded for too long. But I am rekindling them all. Behold, I make all things new, as in Revelation 21:5. I am not repairing you with temporary patches. I am creating something new from within you. I am also washing away from your heart the accusations that have clung to you for so many years. There were voices that whispered, you were not good enough, not worthy enough, not strong enough to be loved. There were memories that caused you to lower your head whenever you thought about yourself. But my beloved child, those voices do not come from me. I have never called you through condemnation. I call you through love. Therefore, there is now no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus. As in Romans 8, I do not see you through the lens of failure. I see you through the eyes of grace and mercy. Tonight I am gently washing the dust of weary days from your soul. I want you to stop carrying the labels of pain that the world or your past once placed upon you. You are not your failures. You are not the moments when you fell. You are not the wounds others inflicted upon you. You are my beloved child, and now I whisper this deep into your heart, not with anger or force, but with the powerful love of a father. You are mine. You are loved. You have not been forgotten. You no longer have to live beneath the shadow of fear and despair. I have called you into a new life. I am restoring you day by day. And what I have begun in you, I will complete. So, my beloved child, rest peacefully in my presence tonight. Let my breath fill every empty place within you. Let your weary soul lie still in the arms that will never let you go. And when the new day begins, you will realize that you are no longer the same person as before, because the one who created the heavens and the earth has touched you with the very breath of eternal life. My beloved child, do not fear the silence when I do not seem to answer immediately. I know there are nights when you sit quietly for a very long time, trying to hear a sign, a response, a clear feeling that assures you, I am still near. But my beloved child, my silence is not the emptiness of abandonment. It is the place where I am preparing you for a conversation deeper than anything physical ears can hear. There are other voices that must grow quiet before you can truly recognize mine. Be still and know that I am God. I do not want you to seek me only in fleeting emotional moments. I want you to learn to rely on my unchanging nature itself, that I am faithful, that I am love, that I am the one who never leaves you, no matter how your emotions may feel today. Many times I allow the noise around you to grow quiet, not to make you lonely, but to draw you closer to me. When the things you once leaned on no longer bring the certainty they once did, you will begin to learn how to rest upon me with the true depth of your soul. Just as the prophet Elijah did not encounter me in the mighty wind, the earthquake, or the fire, but in a gentle whisper, you too will discover that I often come nearest in the deepest silence. There are things only stillness can teach your soul to understand. And then, my beloved child, as your heart begins to rest in my presence, your spiritual eyes will also open more clearly. You will look back on your life's journey and realize that no encounter was ever accidental. There were people I allowed to enter your life to comfort and strengthen you, but there were also those who came to reveal hidden places within your heart that even you had never recognized. Some brought you joy, some brought confusion, and some even caused you pain. But my beloved child, I have never lost control simply because you do not yet understand what is happening. I see the entire picture, while you can only see a very small part of it. Remember Joseph. Through human eyes, the brothers who sold him into slavery seemed to be nothing more than the cause of his suffering. But I used that very encounter, filled with betrayal, to prepare him for a purpose far greater than he could ever imagine. Not every person who enters your life is sent to remain forever. Some come to teach you about love, some lead you to learn forgiveness, some uncover hidden wounds so that I may heal them. And there are also those who are used to awaken within you abilities, desires, and depths you never dared to face before. My beloved child, do not think that the purpose of every connection is to fill the emptiness within your heart. No human being can take the place that belongs to me within your soul. Yet I still use people to touch your life, just as I used Nathanael to guide others, or Barnabas to strengthen Paul during his early days of doubt and suspicion. There are encounters divinely arranged to bring you closer to what I am doing within you. I know there were times when you suffered because someone walked out of your life. You wondered why I allowed them to come if they were only going to leave again. But my beloved child, not every loss is a punishment. Some doors close, so your soul will not remain trapped in something that only belonged to an old season. Some separations I allow, so you may learn to find your identity in me rather than in another person. Abraham had to leave the land that was familiar in order to step into the place I had promised him. Ruth had to lose her old past in order to enter a new story of redemption. Sometimes I also lead you through changes your heart cannot understand at first, but one day you will realize I was always guiding you towards something better. When you begin to see everything through the eyes of trust instead of only through emotion, you will no longer fear the changes of life so deeply. You will understand that even the encounters that confuse you may become instruments I use to touch hidden places within your soul. There are parts of you that would remain asleep forever if not awakened by a glance, a void, or even a painful experience. I do not cause suffering because I delight in your pain, but I am powerful enough to use even the things that once made you cry as doors, leading you into deeper healing and greater maturity. So today, my beloved child, stop resisting the silence. Do not rush to fill it with the noise of fear and anxiety. It is within that stillness that I am teaching you to hear my voice more clearly. It is within the pauses of life that I am rearranging many things you cannot yet fully see. And as you learn to rest in me, you will begin to realize that every encounter, every coming and going, every joy and every sorrow, all of it is being woven into a greater plan of love and faithfulness that I have prepared for your life. My beloved child, do not fear the quiet moments when I seem silent. Many times you think silence is a sign that I have gone far away, when in truth, it is the very place where I am drawing you closer to my heart. I do not allow stillness to appear in your life in order to make you lonely, but to clear away the noise that keeps your soul from hearing my voice clearly. There are seasons when I must gently remove the things you once clung to, not because I desire to hurt you, but because I want you to discover a trust deeper than temporary emotions. Be still before the Lord and wait patiently for Him. As in the Psalm, mature faith is not built upon moments of intense emotion, but upon the certainty that I am still who I am, even when the heavens seem silent. My beloved child, I know there are moments when you search for a clear sign, an immediate answer, a visible confirmation, so your heart can finally be at peace. But if I always spoke to you through the noise of life, perhaps you would begin to seek the feeling itself and forget me. That is why sometimes I allow everything to grow still, so that only my presence and your soul remain, facing one another in true depth. Remember the prophet Samuel in the temple when he was still a child. In the quietness of the night, I called his name not through thunder or great noise, but through a gentle voice that awakened his spirit. There are things only stillness can do to open the ears of your heart so you may truly hear. And then, my beloved child, as your heart begins to rest in me instead of running after every shifting emotion, you will begin to see more clearly the things that once seemed blurred. You will look back over your life and realize that no person ever entered your journey by accident. There were encounters that appeared random, yet I had known them beforehand. There were people who appeared at the exact moment your soul needed to be awakened, healed, or enlightened about something you had never recognized within yourself. Some came, but there were also those who stirred confusion within you, who awakened emotions buried deep inside your heart, and you wondered why I allowed such things to happen. My beloved child, not everything that shakes you is meant to destroy you. There are encounters I use. Some connections reveal the fear of abandonment, the longing to be loved, or wounds you hid for far too long beneath the appearance of strength. Remember the woman at the well in Samaria? She believed her meeting with me was merely a brief conversation beneath the midday sun. Yet that very encounter touched the deepest place within her heart, the place filled with shame, brokenness, and the longing to truly be seen. I did not meet her in order to condemn her. I met her to awaken within her the living water she never knew she desperately needed. And so it is with you, my beloved child. There are people I allow to enter your life, not so they may remain forever, but so they may awaken a part of you that has been asleep. Do not think every meaningful encounter must feel gentle in order to be good. Even the collisions that bring pain can become instruments I use to lead you deeper into growth. Joseph would never have understood the power of forgiveness had he never been betrayed. David would never have learned complete dependence upon me had he never fled into the caves. There are things within you that can only be formed through the encounters I allow to happen, not to break you, but to reveal the beauty I placed within you from the beginning. But my beloved child, I want you to remember this clearly. No one is sent to replace my place within your heart. I use people to touch your life, but only I can completely fill your soul. If you seek from others what only I can give, your heart will always remain restless. That is why I am teaching you to look at every relationship with greater maturity, not clinging in fear, not falling into despair when someone leaves, but trusting that I am still guiding every season of your life with perfect wisdom and perfect love. There are people I allow to step out of your life, not because they were meaningless. On the contrary, they fulfilled their role in that chapter of your journey. Just as John the Baptist prepared the way for me and then stepped aside, there are people sent only for a certain season. And when that season comes to an end, I continue leading you into what is new. If you keep trying to hold everything exactly as it was, you may miss what I am opening before you. So today, my beloved child, stop fearing the silence. Do not rush to fill it with the noise of anxiety or endless questioning. It is within that stillness that I am teaching you to recognize my voice above every other voice. It is within that quiet place that I am healing, arranging, and awakening new depths within your soul. And then you will understand that every encounter, every coming and going, every joy and every moment of confusion, all of it rests within the hands of the one who loves you with an unchanging love. My beloved child, do not look at the people who enter your life only through the eyes of temporary emotions. There are encounters that bring joy to your heart, but there are also encounters that stir confusion deep within you. Many times you have wondered why I allowed such people to appear, but my beloved child, nothing I allow is without purpose. I do not bring them into your life to destroy you, but to touch the places within you that still need refining and growth. As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. Just as gold must pass through fire to become purer, your soul is also refined through the frictions of the relationships I allow to pass through your life. There are people who come and leave you confused because they touch places within your heart you had never noticed before. They awaken questions, emotions, and reactions that even surprise you. But my beloved child, Do not be too quick to see this as losing your way. Many times I use these very confusing encounters to draw you closer to me. When your heart is filled with questions, you begin seeking me more deeply. When you no longer understand your own emotions, you learn to lean upon my wisdom instead of your own need for control. Those people are not the center of the story. They are only signposts along the path on which I am leading you. Remember Naaman, the mighty commander who suffered from leprosy. I used an unnamed servant girl to open the door to his healing. Who would have imagined that someone so small could carry the key to such great transformation? And so it is with you, my beloved child. There are people I allow to enter your life, not because they are meant to remain forever, but because they carry a lesson, an awakening, or a mirror reflecting what I want you to see within yourself. Some come to teach you how to love without demanding anything in return. Some lead you to learn forgiveness instead of holding bitterness within your heart. Some help you recognize the value of gentleness. But there are also people I use to teach you about healthy boundaries. That love does not mean allowing yourself to be destroyed. Some teach you how to trust, while others teach you how to let go in peace. Every encounter carries a seed for your soul. And what matters to me is not whether you can keep everyone beside you forever. What matters to me is who you are becoming through all of these comings and goings. My beloved child, many times your pain does not come only from someone leaving, but from your fear of the emptiness they leave behind. But I want you to understand that no one is sent to replace my place within your heart. When you place your entire identity and security in another person, your heart will always live in fear of loss. But when you root yourself in me, you will learn how to love without imprisoning, how to open your heart without losing yourself. Blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord. They will be like a tree with deep roots. A tree with deep roots does not collapse simply because the winds of the season begin to change. I know there have been separations that made your heart feel as though it were being torn apart. There were moments when you tried desperately to hold on to someone I was gently leading out of your life. But my beloved child, not every departure is a loss. Some doors I close in order to protect your future. Some seasons must end so a new season can begin. Just as Abraham had to leave the familiar land before stepping into the promise, there are things you too must learn to release in order to receive what I am preparing ahead of you. As you begin to view every encounter through the eyes of spiritual maturity, your heart will gradually become lighter. You will no longer cling to people in fear, nor will you close your heart simply because you were once wounded. I do not want pain to turn your heart into dry ground. I want it to become good soil, where I may continue planting new things through any person I choose to send into your life. Remember the sower in my parable. Only soft and open ground can bear abundant fruit. Your soul is the same, my beloved child. And then one day you will look back at the people who once passed through your life with different eyes, no longer only with regret or resentment, but with deep gratitude, because I used them to touch depths within you that perhaps you would never have discovered without those encounters. There are strengths within you that were born only after seasons of brokenness. There are depths of mercy that could only be formed after you walked through pain, and there are doors that drew you closer to me, which only opened after a parting. So today, my beloved child, do not ask so often, why did they come? Instead, begin to pray with a softer heart, Father, teach me what you desire to teach me through every encounter. When you pray this way, your heart will no longer be ruled by fear or regret. You will walk in the peace of one who knows that all things, even the most confusing encounters, are being woven into my loving and faithful plan for your life. My beloved child, there are people I allow to enter your life. They come carrying gentleness, bringing with them the feeling of being understood, seen, and heard in a deeply personal way. There are smiles they awaken in you that even you never imagined you could still give. And in those moments, your soul feels touched by something beautiful from heaven itself. But my beloved child, not every miracle is created to remain forever in the same form. Some lights are sent to awaken your heart, to warm a cold season, and then their assignment is complete. Do not think that every departure means loss or failure. The world often teaches you that if something beautiful ends, then it must have been wrong from the beginning. But that is not true. My beloved child, there are things I allow to exist only for a season, not because they were false, but because their purpose belonged to that season. Remember the clouds that guided Israel through the wilderness. When the clouds stopped, the people stopped. When the clouds lifted, the people had to continue moving forward. No one was meant to build a permanent tent beneath a cloud meant only for a certain part of the journey. And so it is with you. There are people sent to guide you through one portion of your path, to shine light into a hidden corner of your soul, and then they must leave, so you may continue stepping into the new things I am opening before you. I never allow a connection only to intentionally leave you shattered. Even separations, when seen through the eyes of faith, can become acts of mercy, for I see what you cannot see. There are relationships that, if extended beyond the time I intended, would slowly lose their original light, or what was once beautiful would become a dependency, causing your soul to forget the true source of its life. My beloved child, I do not look only at the emotions you carry today. I look at your eternal soul. I look at the person I am quietly shaping through every season of your life. There are things you wish to hold on to, simply because they once brought warmth to your heart. But I know what still belongs in the next part of your journey, and what does not. A gardener must prune away branches that no longer bear fruit, so the tree may continue growing stronger. And many times I too must gently loosen from your hands the things you are not yet ready to release, not because I desire to take away your joy, but because I do not want you trapped inside a season that has already ended. To everything there is a season. There is a season for meeting, a season for loving, and also a season for letting one another go in peace. Do not think those people were removed from your life as though they meant nothing. No, my beloved child, their purpose within that chapter had already been fulfilled. Some were sent to remind you that your heart was still capable of feeling deeply. Some helped you learn how to trust again. Some caused you to realize that you are worthy of love and tenderness. And there were also those who led you to discover hidden places within yourself that you had never faced before. They did not fail simply because they did not remain forever. Some encounters fulfill their purpose even when they end in silence. I know there are nights when you still think about them, carrying questions that remain unanswered. There are words left unsaid, things left undone, silences that still ache within your heart. But, my beloved child, do not allow your soul to remain trapped forever in the place of what if. I do not allow anything in your life to become meaningless. Even their silence can become a voice I use to teach you something deeper. There are lessons you can only learn through absence. There are depths of faith that can only be formed when you stop clinging to another person and begin clinging fully to me. Remember the disciples on the Mount of Transfiguration. They wanted to build tents and remain forever within that glorious moment, but I did not allow them to stay upon the mountain. They had to come down and continue the journey. And so it is with you, my beloved child. Not every beautiful moment is created to last endlessly. Some things are given to transform you, not to be possessed forever. I know you placed great hope in that person, in that connection. But I want you to remember this deeply. The only hope that will never leave you is me. People may change. Circumstances may shift, but I remain here. I will never leave you nor forsake you. As in Hebrews 13:5, when every other hand lets go, my hand still holds you. When the unspoken words still wound your heart, I fully understand everything your soul carries within. So today, my beloved child, stop trying to hold on to what I am gently bringing to a close. Not every closed door is a punishment. Some doors close to protect your soul from remaining trapped in the past forever. Allow me to lead you forward without the chains of regret upon your heart. Trust that if I allow someone to leave, I also know how to use that very emptiness to draw you closer to me, deeper in maturity and fuller in love. And one day, when you look back, you will no longer remember them only through sadness. You will see that my hand was quietly present in both the meeting and the parting. You will understand that nothing in your life was wasted. Everything, even the unfinished endings and the words never spoken, is being woven together into part of the story of healing and growth that I am writing for your soul. My beloved child, do not be afraid when your heart suddenly feels emptier than before. I know there are days when you look around and realize many things that once made you feel secure are no longer there. Certain people, certain familiar emotions, are slowly slipping from your hands, and your soul feels confused. But my beloved child, that emptiness is not a sign that I have forgotten you. Many times, I myself am clearing away the old things in order to make room for something new from heaven to enter. Behold, I will do a new thing. Shall you not know it? As in Isaiah 43:19. New things cannot be planted in a place already crowded with what no longer belongs to the next season. I know you often want to keep the things that once brought you peace, even though deep within you already sense they no longer fit where you are going. But if a traveler insists on carrying every old piece of luggage upon their shoulders, the road ahead will become too heavy to continue. That is why sometimes I must gently take from your hands the things you still wish to keep, not because I am cruel, but because I love you enough not to let you remain trapped in what has already ended. There are things that were good for one season, yet would become burdens if you tried to carry them into the next. Remember the people of Israel when I led them out of Egypt. They were freed from their chains, yet their minds still carried the fears and habits of slavery. There were moments when they wanted to return simply because the wilderness felt unfamiliar and unsettling. And so it is with you, my beloved child. There are old things you long to return to, not because they are truly good for you, but because they are familiar. But I have not called you back to the Egypt of your past. I am leading you toward a new land, a place where your soul may experience true freedom. And what I am removing from your life is not only people or outward circumstances. Many times what I desire for you to release are the invisible things that have rooted themselves deeply within your heart. Perhaps it is a way of thinking that constantly causes you to doubt yourself. Perhaps it is anxiety that has become your automatic response to everything unknown. Perhaps it is the fear of rejection that causes you to guard yourself against love. My beloved child, I do not want you to step into a new future, carrying an old mind still bound by chains. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. As in Romans 12, I am changing the way you see, the way you think, and the way you respond to life. There are events I allow to happen, not to destroy you, but to reveal the places within your soul that still need healing. A farmer must first break up the ground before planting new seeds. The earth may look torn apart, empty, and chaotic, yet that is precisely the moment it is being prepared for a fruitful season ahead. And so it is with you, my beloved child. I am turning over the deep places within your heart to remove the old roots of fear, bitterness, and exhaustion. And in order to be filled with something new, you must first have the courage to pass through the emptiness. I know that feeling is not easy. There are days when you feel lost, as though you are losing a part of yourself. But my beloved child, do not confuse change with abandonment. You have not been left behind. I myself am walking ahead of you, preparing the way. Just as John the Baptist prepared the road for the Savior, there are silences and changes in your life that are preparing the way for something greater I am about to reveal. I do not tear down unless I intend to build something better. A new season rarely begins with loud celebration or dazzling fireworks, as you might imagine. Many times it begins so quietly that you think nothing is happening at all. Things that once felt familiar suddenly seem distant. Things that once gave you certainty no longer hold your heart in the same way. And it is precisely within that strange transition between seasons that you begin hearing my voice more clearly. When the old noise finally grows quiet, your soul at last has room to realize that I have been very near all along. Remember Elijah when he hid inside the cave, weary and afraid? I did not come to him through the mighty wind, the earthquake, or the fire. I came through a still, gentle whisper. And so it is with you, my beloved child. It is within the quietness of this season of transition that I am speaking to you, things deeper than anything the noise of the world ever allowed you to hear before. So today, do not grieve too deeply over the things I am gently removing from your hands. Do not see emptiness as failure. It may actually be the sign that I am enlarging your heart to hold something greater, purer, and more heavenly. As you learn to release what no longer belongs to you, your steps will become lighter, your soul will become freer, and you will begin walking more fully in the direction I intended for you, no longer held back by things that belonged only to a former season. My beloved child, trust me even in these silent places, for even while you think you are losing many things, I am actually preparing for you a new fullness, deeper, truer, and closer to me than ever before. My beloved child, I never promised that your journey would be without tears. I never said you would never walk through dark seasons, heavy-hearted days, or trials that leave you feeling as though your strength is nearly gone. But this is what I have always promised. No pain you endure will ever be wasted in my hands. I will use even the things that once shattered you to lead you into a healing deeper, truer, and more complete. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, as in Romans 8:28. Even what you call brokenness can become the foundation of a new life in my hands. I do not merely want to bandage a few wounds and then send you back to being the same fearful and weary person you once were. I am doing a work far deeper than that. I am transforming your heart. There are things that only pain can open within your soul. There are depths of gentleness, mercy, and strength that you would never discover if you had never walked through the valley of darkness. My beloved child, the healing I give does not return you to an older version of yourself. It leads you into a new person, stronger yet also softer, deeper yet closer to me than ever before. When a vessel breaks in the hands of the potter, people may believe it has been ruined beyond repair. But I am not the one who throws away the broken pieces. There are parts of your life that must break apart so that what truly belongs to me may be formed within you. And one day when you look back, you will realize that what you once called the end was actually the place where I began laying a new foundation for your soul. My beloved child, the day will come when you tell the story of your life no longer only through tears, but through eyes filled with peaceful gratitude, not because every pain was pleasant, but because you will recognize that I was with you through every dark season. You will look back at the nights you once believed you could never survive, and you will be amazed to see that I kept the flame within your heart from going out. We are hard-pressed on every side, but not crushed. You may have walked through deep valleys, but you did not remain there. I led you through them without allowing darkness to consume your soul. And then, my beloved child, you will begin to understand something you once could not fully see. True strength is not born in seasons that are always easy. The steadfastness of the soul does not grow where everything is constantly comfortable. It is formed in the middle of storms, when you still choose to rise again, when you still choose to trust, even though you cannot yet clearly see the light ahead. Remember Joseph. Had he never been betrayed, forgotten, and imprisoned, the world would never have seen the wisdom, forgiveness, and maturity I formed within him. The very things that appeared unfair became the place where his most precious qualities were revealed. I do not create trials because I delight in your suffering. I am not a God who seeks your collapse, but I know there are beauties within your soul that would remain asleep forever if hardship never awakened them. A pearl is formed from the wound of an oyster deep within the sea. Iron must pass through fire before it becomes a sharpened sword, and so it is with you, my beloved child. There are precious things I have placed within you that can only be refined and revealed through difficult seasons. But do not fear this, for you do not walk through the fire alone. When the 3 friends of Daniel were thrown into the blazing furnace, people were astonished to see another presence walking in the fire beside them. And so it is with you. In every trial, I have never stood outside watching you struggle alone. I walk into the flames with you. And the miracle is this: many times the very place that once seemed ready to destroy you becomes the place where others can most clearly see my presence upon your life. My beloved child, I am teaching you a kind of strength that does not come from never feeling pain, but from still carrying light within your heart during the darkest days. There are people who only know how to love when life is easy, but I am creating within you a heart that can still love after being wounded, still hope after disappointment, still remain gentle even after life has caused you pain. That is the true beauty of a soul that has been healed by me. And then when new trials come, you will no longer tremble as you once did. Not because you know everything will be easy, but because you have seen my faithfulness in the past. You have seen that I can bring light out of darkness, life out of brokenness, and hope out of despair. That very truth will make your heart steadier. You will stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and begin to whisper in peace, "Father, use even this to make my soul beautiful according to your will." So today, my beloved child, do not despise the difficult seasons you have walked through. They are not merely painful chapters in your life. They are places where I quietly shaped a soul that is deeper, more mature, and more clearly reflective of my love. And when all things are complete, you will understand that what once seemed meant to destroy you was actually the very place where I formed the most enduring beauty within your soul. My beloved child, the longer you walk with me through seasons of testing, the more you will understand that true strength is not found in a heart that has never been wounded, but in a heart that remains tender after everything it has endured. The world often makes you think that in order to protect yourself, you must become hard, cold, and hold on to your wounds as evidence against others. But my beloved child, I have not called you to live beneath the burden of bitterness. I have called you to walk in the freedom of grace. Guard your heart above all else, for from it flow the springs of life, as in Proverbs. A heart filled with resentment will slowly lose the peace I desire to pour into you. I know there are things that have wounded you deeply. There were words people spoke and quickly forgot, yet your heart carried them for years. There were betrayals that made you wonder how you could ever trust again. And what hurts even more is that many times no apology was ever spoken. The person who hurt you may have moved on while you remained standing with pain that had not yet healed. But in those very moments, I gently whisper to you, my child, forgive, not because what they did was right, not because they deserve to be easily excused, but because I do not want your soul to remain chained to that wound any longer. Remember Joseph when he stood before the brothers who had once sold him into slavery? He had every reason to nourish bitterness, but instead of taking revenge, he wept and said, "You meant evil against me, but God meant it for good." My beloved child, forgiveness does not erase the truth that you were wounded. It simply means you no longer allow the darkness of that wound to control your future. I do not want you to carry that burden along the road on which I am leading you. You must understand this deeply. Forgiveness is first a gift for your own soul. When you hold on to pain, you may think you are keeping someone else under judgment, but in truth, your own heart is the one being bound. Resentment is a prison I do not want you to live in. I do not want your heart to become a place filled only with painful memories and repeated conversations with the past. I want it to become soil where peace, mercy, and life can continue to grow. But my beloved child, forgiveness does not mean you must pretend you were never hurt. I am not asking you to deny the truth or call what was wrong right. Even I call sin by its name. Forgiveness also does not require you to return to a place that continues to wound you. There are people you must love from a distance. There are doors I do not want you to open again. Forgiveness does not always mean full reconciliation. It is the decision of the soul that says, I will not allow this to keep defining me anymore. There are people who carry their wounds for so long that they begin to believe pain is the deepest part of who they are. But I want the very places where you were wounded to become soil where kindness can begin to grow. Just as a scar upon the body no longer bleeds, but becomes evidence that healing has taken place, I also want the pain you once endured to become a testimony of how powerful my grace truly is. Look to the cross, my beloved child. Even in the midst of the greatest suffering, when betrayed, mocked, and crucified, my son still prayed, Father, forgive them. That was not weakness. It was the strength of a love that refuses to let darkness create more darkness. And I am teaching you to walk in that same freedom, not by your own strength, but by the grace through which I am softening your heart day by day. I know there are moments when you think that if you forgive, the other person somehow wins. But my beloved child, forgiveness is not first meant to free them. It is meant to free you. When you lay the burden down, your soul becomes lighter. You will stop replaying old memories over and over within your mind. You will no longer allow what others have done to limit your ability to love and live in peace. And then you will realize this: the greatest strength is not found in holding on to pain, but in still carrying a heart full of light after everything you have endured. The longer you walk with me, the more you will see that trials do not only expose the wounds within you, they also reveal the beauty I am creating. In the midst of injustice, you learn mercy. In the midst of betrayal, you learn sincerity. In the midst of pain, you learn how to love without losing your soul. These things are far more precious than a shallow piece that has never passed through the refining fire. So today, my beloved child, lay down what you have carried for far too long. Let me touch the places that still ache and soften them with my love. Do not allow your past to continue writing its name upon your identity. You are not defined by what others have done to you. You are defined by my love for you. And as you learn to forgive, you will discover a kind of freedom no revenge could ever give. The freedom of a heart that has been healed and now belongs completely to me. My beloved child, I know there are moments when you look at the world around you and feel small amid countless voices, countless people, and endless changes. There are days when you wonder whether your presence truly makes any difference at all. But my beloved child, you are measuring strength the way the world does, while I see it through the eyes of heaven. Light does not need to blind the world in order to overcome darkness. Even a small lamp is enough to keep the darkest room from belonging completely to the night. You are the light of the world, as in Matthew 5:14. I have not called you to become the sun for all humanity. I have simply called you to remain faithful with the portion of light I have placed within you. I do not require you to become perfect before I can use you. If I chose only those without flaw, Moses would never have been called, even though he trembled and believed he could not speak well. David would never have been chosen, though he was only a shepherd boy overlooked among his brothers. Peter would never have been entrusted with the keys of the kingdom after his moments of weakness and denial. But I have always looked deeper than the limitations people can see. I seek a heart willing to say yes, even in its fragility. For what I desire is not your perfection, but your faithfulness. My beloved child, do not underestimate the small things you do with sincere love. You may think a word of encouragement is something ordinary, but you do not know that someone may have survived a dark day because of that gentle sentence. You may think a hug or a compassionate glance means very little, but to a lonely soul, it may become the first proof that they are still loved. The world often celebrates only what is grand and loud, yet the kingdom of heaven is so often built through quiet acts no one notices. Remember the boy with the 5 loaves and 2 fish. In human eyes, it was far too small, but once placed into my hands, it became a miracle that fed thousands. And so it is with you, my beloved child. What seems small in your hands can become something great in mine. I want you to understand that the purpose I have for you is not a burden meant to keep you living under pressure and fear. I do not force you. I invite you through love. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. As in Revelation 3:20, I do not break down the door of your soul to enter. I wait for you to open your heart willingly. And when you say yes to me, you are not stepping into chains of obligation, but into the true freedom of your soul. My beloved child, nothing makes your soul come alive more than living according to the reason for which I created you. You may achieve many things in the eyes of the world, and still feel empty if you are walking apart from what I placed within your heart. But when you begin living in truth, no matter how simple your outward life may appear, there will still be within you a stream of peace and meaning that nothing can take away. I have come that they may have life, and have it abundantly, as in John. I am not calling you into abundant life merely through material things or worldly success, but through a fullness deep within your soul. Perhaps today you still cannot see the entire road ahead. Perhaps you still feel weak and unqualified for what I am calling you to do. But remember Gideon. When I called him a mighty warrior, he was still trembling in fear and hiding in secret. I did not wait for him to become strong before calling him. It was my calling that slowly formed strength within him, and so it is with you, my beloved child. I do not wait until you are perfected before I begin to use you. I will grow together with you along the journey. Every time you choose love instead of bitterness, heaven rejoices. Every time you choose forgiveness instead of revenge, my light is being reflected through your life. Every time you keep your heart gentle in a world filled with coldness, you are telling the world that true love still exists. And perhaps you do not realize it now, but those very small things are changing more souls around you than you can imagine. My beloved child, the day will come when you look back and understand that I never overlooked anything you did in secret. Not one tear, not one prayer, not one act of love has been forgotten before me. Some seeds you plant today will bloom in another person's life many years from now. Some lights you kindle will continue guiding souls you may never even meet. And then, as your soul slowly begins to move in harmony with the rhythm of heaven, you will realize that you no longer live striving for the approval of the world. You will walk with the peace of one who knows where they belong, no longer afraid that you are too small to make a difference. For you will understand that I do not need you to become something great according to the world's definition. I simply desire for you to live faithfully according to the light I have placed within you. So today, my beloved child, keep walking forward, keep loving, keep your heart soft in a world that easily turns hearts hard. And never forget that every time you live through love, faith, and quiet faithfulness, heaven sings over your life because you are becoming exactly what I created you to be from the very beginning. My beloved child, let this truth settle deeply within your soul. Do not listen only with physical ears, but allow every word I speak to reach the deepest places within your heart, the places once covered by fear, weariness, and unanswered questions. I am not pushing you to run quickly in order to prove something. I do not stand ahead of you in anger because your steps are slow, my beloved child. I am the Father who walks in step beside you. Yet even within that gentleness, I am still waiting for you to realize this. You no longer need to delay your journey. What you have been searching for in order to move into the next season is not far away. I planted it within you long ago, before you even knew how to call your own name. I had already placed within your soul seeds that belong to heaven, a love that no bitterness can extinguish, wisdom that grows in stillness, courage that does not come from the applause of crowds, but from the certainty that I am with you, humility that frees you from needing to prove your worth through competition with the world, and a faith that can remain standing even beneath skies covered with gray clouds. These things never disappeared, my beloved child. They were only buried beneath the ashes of painful seasons, disappointments, and fear. But now I am breathing my life upon those seeds, so they may rise again. You once believed you had to search for your purpose somewhere far away, but my beloved child, this is what I want you to understand. Your purpose is not merely a job, a position, or an achievement. Your true purpose is found within the very person I am shaping you to become. When you live within my light, love with the heart I have given you, and walk in truth and faithfulness within this world filled with deception, then you are already living according to the reason I created you. For we are His workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand, as in Ephesians 2:10. This is not the end of your story, my beloved child. The painful seasons you have walked through are not the final chapter. They are only the beginning of something far deeper, a new chapter in which you are no longer controlled by old pain or by the expectations others placed upon your life. There were years when you lived as though you constantly had to prove yourself in order to be loved, accepted, or seen. But I never loved you because of those masks. I loved you even when you were at your most weary, your most fragile, and your most honest. This new chapter will not be written merely through words, but through the way you live each day. You will write it through the courage to live truthfully with your own soul, through the gentleness that still remains within you even after the world has wounded you, through your decision to love instead of closing your heart, through the way you walk through life no longer bowed down by shame or fear. And then you will realize this: when your soul stands firmly within my light, you are no longer someone endlessly searching for purpose. You become the very imprint I have sent into this world to touch other souls through my gentle yet powerful presence within you. I know there are still moments when you feel small and incapable of accomplishing anything significant. But remember Esther, a young woman within a vast empire, seemingly unknown and powerless. Yet I placed her in the right place at the right time to save an entire people. She did not need to become someone else in order to fulfill what I called her to do. She only needed the courage to walk in the strength I gave her. And so it is with you, my beloved child. I do not ask you to become a version of someone else. I simply desire for you to become fully the person I created you to be. And now, within the silence you have bravely entered, I want you to pause for a moment, not to turn away from the journey, but to hear more clearly the movement taking place within your soul. Something deep within you is changing. It is no longer merely emotions, rising and falling with circumstances. I am awakening within you the original nature I placed there from the beginning, before fear caused you to shrink back, before wounds made you forget who you truly are. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you, as in Jeremiah 1:5. My beloved child, you are not a random product of this world. There is a heavenly mark upon your life. There is a unique sound I have placed within your soul that no one else can replace. And the more you remain still within my presence, the more clearly you will hear that calling above all the noise of the world. Do not fear the changes taking place within you. Do not panic when the things that once felt familiar no longer hold your soul in the same way as before. That is not a sign that you are lost. It is a sign that you are awakening. A young bird must break through its old shell before it can see the sky. A seed must break open before it can become a great tree. And your soul is passing through the same process, painful in some ways, unfamiliar in others, yet filled with new life. So today, my beloved child, rest peacefully within my love. Let the truth of who you truly are grow stronger than the voices that once caused you to doubt yourself, and keep moving forward, not in haste, not in fear, but with the deep peace of one who knows that the Creator of heaven and earth is quietly leading them toward the very place they were born to belong. My beloved child, hear me clearly in this very moment. You are no longer defined by what has happened to you. The painful days no longer have the authority to place their name upon your soul. The losses that once made your heart unbearably heavy, the misunderstandings that caused you to feel alone, the long seasons of waiting that seemed endless, and even the silence that once filled you with confusion, none of these are prisons holding you in the past anymore. They have fulfilled what they were meant to do. They were only seasons I allowed to pass through your life in order to teach your soul things that comfort and ease could never teach. After you have suffered a little while, the God of all grace will himself restore you and make you strong, firm, and steadfast, as in 1 Peter 5:10. There were moments when you did not understand why you had to go through certain things, nor why I seemed silent for so long. But my beloved child, you are no longer standing inside the classroom of pain. You are stepping out of it, carrying wisdom distilled through your own tears and faith. The things that once caused you to collapse are now becoming the foundation of your soul's maturity. People may look at fire and see only destruction, but I look at fire as the place where gold is refined, and I have used those very seasons of testing to reveal the true beauty I placed within you from the beginning. Now, my beloved child, I want you to stop chasing the many voices around you. The world constantly tries to define you through standards that endlessly change. Some voices say you are not enough. Some make you question your worth. There were voices that caused you to live beneath shame and fear. But the only voice you must now learn to hear is the call rising from the very soul I have touched. It is not the noise of pride, but the divine affirmation I have placed within your heart. The Spirit himself bears witness with our spirit that we are children of God, as in Romans 8:16. When you truly know who you are in me, you will stop living for the approval of the world. This awakening does not arrive all at once. At first, you may only sense a subtle change, a strange peace, a growing clarity appearing where confusion once remained. But that stream will grow stronger and stronger. It will water the places within you that once withered beneath disappointment and exhaustion. And my beloved child, it is this new current of life that is now moving you forward. You will begin to realize that you no longer stand endlessly at the crossroads of hesitation, no longer questioning whether you are worthy of love, worthy of being used, worthy of continuing onward. Because now you know, not through shallow understanding of the mind, but through the certainty deep within a soul that has passed through refining fire and witnessed my faithfulness. Just as Joshua finally crossed the Jordan River after years of wandering in the wilderness, you too are crossing an invisible boundary within your soul. My beloved child, there is a great threshold you have just crossed. In the past, you lived one way, but now I am awakening within you a new awareness. The strength you have been searching for has long been planted within you by me. The kingdom of God is within you, as in Luke 17:21. What you need is not to become someone else, but to awaken to what I placed within you from the very beginning. You are no longer someone who lives passively before circumstances, no longer someone who simply reacts according to old fears or old wounds. I am leading you into a place where every decision is born from clarity and peace. Remember Esther. For a long time she lived as an orphaned girl, swept into events far greater than herself. But when the appointed moment came, I opened her eyes to see that she had not been placed there by accident. Who knows whether you have come to the kingdom for such a time as this? And so it is with you, my beloved child. What you have walked through was not merely for survival. I have been preparing you for a purpose far greater than anything you once imagined. Now, as you step into this new season, you will begin to feel a different kind of freedom, no longer needing to prove yourself to everyone around you, no longer held back by the past or by fear of failure. You will walk with the peace of one who knows they are being led, sent forth, and upheld by me myself. And when you understand this deeply, your soul will stop living in a spirit of lack. For you will know that the one who walks beside you is greater than anything waiting ahead. So today, my beloved child, stop seeing yourself through the lens of former seasons. Do not call yourself by the names that pain once placed upon you. You are no longer merely the one who suffered. You are becoming someone who carries my light into this world. You are no longer someone waiting only for miracles from outside yourself. You are learning how to live from the source of life I have already placed within you, and from that deep place within, I will continue leading you forward, not in confusion, but in the gentle certainty of one who knows they belong to me, are chosen by me, and are being guided by my eternal hand into the very place they were meant to reach. My beloved child, I rejoice that you did not turn away from my calling during those chaotic seasons of life. I know there were moments when your heart trembled, days when you could not fully understand what I was leading you through. There were times when you stood before my invitation with hesitation because you feared leaving behind what felt familiar. But my beloved child, even with many questions still within your heart, you chose to remain. You did not close the door of your heart against me. You stayed there listening in silence, opening yourself in weakness, allowing my light to touch the deepest places within your soul. Abide in me, and I in you, as in John 15:4. It is that remaining which has become the bridge leading you deeper into the life I have prepared for you. You did not remain with me out of fear of abandonment. You remain because your soul has begun to realize that apart from me, there is nowhere your heart can truly find rest. The world may offer brief moments of happiness, but only I can fill the deepest emptiness within you. Just as Peter said, "Lord, to whom shall we go? You have the words of eternal life." My beloved child, it is this realization that is causing the roots of your soul to grow deeper into my love. Now you stand in a very sacred place within your journey, not merely at an ordinary crossroads of life, but at a divine intersection where your past and your future are meeting beneath my hand. Every road you have walked, every night you wept in loneliness, every season of waiting that left you feeling exhausted, all of it is converging in this very moment. You once thought many parts of your path were meaningless detours, but my beloved child, I have never allowed a single one of your steps to be wasted. The steps of the righteous are ordered by the Lord. I have seen every time you prayed in desperation. I remember the whispers you spoke when no one else could hear them. I saw even the moments when you wanted to give up, yet still chose to believe one more time. And now all of those moments are becoming the foundation for the new season I am about to open before you. You are no longer standing in a place of uncertainty. I am leading you into a place of confirmation where your soul begins to understand that you were never accidentally placed upon this earth. My beloved child, the light I placed within you is no longer meant only to warm your own soul. I am leading it out from its hidden place so it may become a source of hope for others. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a basket, as in Matthew 5:15. The things I have done within you through pain, healing, and transformation were never meant for you alone to keep hidden away. I am preparing your life to become a living testimony that my grace is real, that restoration is real, and that a broken heart can truly be rebuilt into something even more beautiful than before. You once believed the difficult seasons were merely periods you had to endure and survive. But now, you will begin to see that they were the very places where I was quietly preparing oil for the lamp of your soul. Without those dark nights, you would never have understood the preciousness of light. Without those seasons of waiting, you would never have learned how to recognize my voice among countless others. And without those moments of brokenness, your heart might still have remained closed to the depths of mercy and love. Remember Joseph once more, my beloved child. The years he spent in prison appeared to be nothing more than meaningless delay, but in truth, I was preparing him for a destined moment. A moment when the light and wisdom I had placed within him would no longer save only himself, but would save entire nations from famine. And so it is with you. There are things I am opening within your life that are not only about you. The light I am igniting within you will touch those who are lost, souls that are weary, hearts that believe hope no longer exists. So today, my beloved child, do not treat this moment lightly. This is not coincidence. This is a crossing point I have prepared for a very long time, the place where you begin walking no longer as someone searching for light, but as someone carrying that light within themselves. You will no longer ask only, "What do I need in order to continue?" because now you are beginning to understand that I have already planted within you everything necessary for the journey ahead. I am not calling you to walk by your own strength. I am not pushing you into the future without walking beside you. I myself will guide the way, open the doors, and keep you secure. What I ask of you is simply to remain close to me with that soft and faithful heart. And when you do, my beloved child, your life will become a living testimony. It will carry hope, healing, and the light of heaven with it. So continue forward in peace. Do not fear this new crossing place, for you are not stepping into the unknown alone. I, the one who led you through every former season, am already standing ahead in the new one with open arms, waiting to lead you into the fullness I prepared for your soul from the very beginning. My beloved child, I see your soul standing in a place that is very fragile, yet also very sacred. And what makes you weary is not that you lack light, but that you are so close to transformation, while still being held back by subtle layers of illusion you have not yet looked at directly. My beloved child, the most dangerous darkness is not always obvious rebellion against me. Many times it is only an invisible cage that makes you think you are moving forward, when in truth, your soul is only circling an old mountain. But today, I am calling you out of that cycle. Arise, shine, for your light has come, as in Isaiah 60:1. I do not speak to you in anger, but with the urgent love of a father who sees you standing very close to the promised land. I know that the moment you truly look straight at the things holding you back, those layers of mist will dissolve beneath my light. And when that happens, you will no longer live in a state of almost. You will enter the true movement of your soul, where you do not only receive the light but become one who carries that light through life. Listen to the first thing I want to uncover within you, the illusion of enough. My beloved child, this is a very subtle trap. It does not pull you into obvious sin. It only lulls you with the feeling that you are better than before, that you understand more than many others, that you have gained a little peace, a little light, a little maturity, and then your soul begins to stop within that halfway place. But I did not create you to live merely better than you used to be. I created you for fullness. Israel once saw the pillar of cloud by day and the pillar of fire by night. They witnessed the Red Sea part before their eyes. Yet many of them still died in the wilderness because they were satisfied with being delivered, but did not dare to keep walking into the promised land. And so it is with you, my beloved child. There are times when you stop in the place between good and what I truly intended for you. You begin to think you have gone far enough, but I speak to you today. You have not yet lived out all that I have placed within you. There are still deeper layers of love, wisdom, courage, and power that I desire to reveal through your life. If you keep holding on to the mindset that this is enough, you will remain standing at the border of Canaan without ever stepping into the fullness I have prepared. I do not condemn you for this. I understand that your soul has grown weary after many seasons of battle. But, my beloved child, do not turn rest into a permanent hiding place. The eagle was created to soar high, not to live forever in the nest, simply because it feels familiar and safe. I am calling you deeper, higher, and more truly into the identity I wrote for you from the beginning. And now I want you to look at the second layer of illusion, the illusion of waiting longer. This is a soft net that traps many souls without them realizing it. You tell yourself that you only need one more sign, one more feeling of certainty, one more perfect moment, and then you will begin to move. But my beloved child, many times what you call waiting on me is actually fear dressed in the clothing of wisdom. You think you are being careful, but your soul is delaying what I spoke long ago. Remember the people of Israel standing before the Red Sea. When the waters parted, they still had to step down into the midst of the sea before they could truly see themselves crossing over. Faith does not grow where everything is perfectly clear. Faith matures when you continue walking, even while your heart still trembles. For we walk by faith, not by sight. My beloved child, you do not need another sign. I have already taught you through enough seasons. Your mind has been enlightened enough to recognize my voice. Your soul has passed through the refining fire long enough to grow mature. What is missing now is not more light, but the step forward itself. I know you are afraid. Afraid that if you move forward, you may fail. Afraid that if you release the old shore, you may lose yourself in deep waters. But my beloved child, you are no longer truly waiting for me. You are waiting for your fear to become completely silent before you dare to move. And if you continue waiting in that way, you will remain trapped forever in the place of someday. I am not calling you to live in hesitation any longer. I am calling you into the movement of true life. Just as Peter had to step out of the boat into the stormy sea if he wanted to walk upon the water with me, you too must learn how to move forward without controlling everything ahead of you. It is when you step that the water becomes the place that holds you up. My beloved child, this is the moment your soul must awaken from those invisible cages. I did not create you merely to survive within the safe regions of "this is enough" or "wait a little longer." I created you to carry my life into everyday existence, to become the movement of heaven in a world asleep beneath fear and delay. So today, look directly at the thing that has been holding you back without fear. For the moment the light of truth touches it, those illusions will lose their power. And then you will realize that you are no longer standing between two veils of mist. You will step out of the region of almost and into what I wrote for you before you were ever born, not as someone endlessly waiting, but as someone sent forth, awakened, and truly alive. My beloved child, allow me to pull that veil away from the eyes of your soul one more time. There were coverings that were once necessary during former seasons of your life, but my beloved child, what helped you endure one season is not always meant to follow you into the next. Some coverings once protected you from collapsing, yet, if held too long, they begin preventing you from seeing the truth. And I cannot lead you into your true destiny while the eyes of your soul remain covered by things whose season has already ended. When that veil falls away, you begin to see everything more clearly, so clearly that sometimes it even pains your heart. You begin to realize that some relationships you once called peace were actually only familiarity that lulled your soul to sleep. Some words sounded loving on the surface, yet deep within carried motives that slowly caused you to shrink yourself smaller and smaller. Before, perhaps you were too kind to see it, or perhaps too afraid of the truth to face it. But my beloved child, my light does not come to shame you. It comes to set you free. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. You also begin to see more clearly the hidden wounds within your own heart. There are reactions you once believed were simply part of your personality, when in truth they were echoes of pain not yet healed. There were small compromises you once considered harmless, yet over time, they quietly pulled your vision away from what I truly prepared for you. My beloved child, I do not reveal these things in order to humiliate you. I show them to you because I do not want any darkness to continue hiding in the place where I am calling my light to flood in completely. And then you will begin to understand why I once kept you within a long season that seemed so uncertain and undefined. There were moments when you believed you were being delayed, when in truth, I was waiting until the eyes of your soul became clear enough to see what you could not yet recognize before. A farmer does not place a young plant out into strong winds too soon, because its roots are not yet deep enough. And so it is with you, my beloved child. There are things I did not immediately open before you, not because I forgot you, but because I was allowing your vision to mature. When the veil falls away, you can no longer continue living within the old blindness. The things that once caused hesitation within you now begin to appear clearly. I am calling you away from doors whose season has ended, away from dreams that no longer carry the breath of heaven, away from things that once nourished you but now only leave your soul suffocating. And my beloved child, I know this is not easy. There are places you once considered home. There are people you once believed would walk beside you forever. But the season has changed now. Do not mistake change for failure. Not everything that ends is bad. There are things that were right for a former season, but would become limitations if you insisted on carrying them into the next one. Remember Abraham. I called him to leave the land that was familiar, not because it was entirely evil, but because the destiny I prepared for him was ahead, not behind. And so it is with you, my beloved child. I am not calling you forward because I desire to take something good away from you. I am calling you onward because something greater is waiting ahead. There were people who truly were companions for a certain part of your journey. They helped you grow. They walked beside you through specific days and seasons. But now, if they remain, they may unintentionally become a low ceiling that prevents your soul from entering the greater heights I am opening before you. This does not mean they are evil, nor that you must despise them. It simply means their season has been completed. A branch cannot hold on to old leaves forever when a new season is arriving. If the old leaves are never released, new buds will have no room to grow. My beloved child, a new chapter does not always begin by me immediately placing something new into your hands. Many times it begins with you learning how to let go, and I know letting go is not easy. For your soul often clings to what feels familiar even when it no longer carries life. But hear me clearly, letting go is not failure. Letting go is not abandoning your destiny. Letting go is the sign that you have matured enough to step into something greater without remaining chained to what belongs to the past. When you release what is old, you are creating space for heaven to pour new things into your soul. Just as the sower must clear the soil before planting new seed, I too am clearing your heart of things that no longer belong to the next season. And the very moment you release something in faith, you are saying to me, Father, I trust you more than the thing I have been trying to hold on to. Not everyone can hear this call of changing seasons, because it does not come with thunder from the heavens. It arrives softly. Elijah did not encounter me in the earthquake or the fire, but in the still small voice. And that same call is coming to you now in the same way, not loud, yet powerful enough to redirect the course of your entire life if you are willing to listen. My beloved child, the new chapter I am opening for you may not be easier, but it will be truer. Truer to the soul I created you to become, truer to the purpose I wrote upon your life before you were born. My beloved child, when that veil falls away, the first thing I want you to understand is this. I am not only opening your eyes to see the world differently, I am opening your eyes to see yourself in the light of heaven. For so long, you have been used to seeing yourself through the lens of old wounds, failures, misunderstandings, and abandonment. At times, you saw yourself as someone who must always stay guarded so you would not be hurt again. At times, you lived in a familiar grayness simply because the truth felt too frightening to face. But my beloved child, now I am drawing you out of that place. You are no longer defined by the past. The things that once happened to you no longer have the right to name you. You are no longer a soul living on old promises whose season has ended, nor someone standing on the sidelines watching others step into their destiny. When my light truly touches you, you begin to see what I have always seen in you from the beginning. One who is called, one who carries light, a soul created for a purpose greater than anything you once thought about yourself. You are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, as in 1 Peter 2-9. I have never seen you as an accident, and then you will look back over your entire journey with different eyes. The roads that once made you think you were lost will begin connecting into a complete picture. The broken places that once filled you with despair will become the very places where I built the foundation for new depth within your soul. The delays that once wounded your heart were, in truth, saving you from doors whose timing was not yet right. My beloved child, you have never been late in my plan. You are on time. He has made everything beautiful in its time, as in Ecclesiastes 3:11. What you called delay was often my hand protecting and preparing you for something greater. I am leading you to the place where heaven meets earth in your life, where your soul stops living merely to survive each day and begins walking in a clear awareness of its identity. It was not by accident that you passed through the dark season, the silent season, the season of being shaped deep within. A blacksmith does not put iron into the fire because he hates it, but because he sees within it the form of a stronger sword. And so it is with me. Difficult seasons were not signs that I had forgotten you. They were the places where I was quietly preparing you for this moment, the moment when you step out no longer as one who is merely wounded, but as one summoned for an eternal purpose. But my beloved child, before I lead you deeper into the new chapter, I must bring you to the place you have always tried to avoid, the deepest wound within your heart. I know you have learned how to appear fine. You know how to smile while your heart is full of turmoil. You know how to say that you are strong while your soul is still trembling inside. But before me, you do not need to play the role of someone invincible. I do not require you to hide your wounds in order to be accepted by me. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. I can only heal the places you allow my light to touch. I see the memories you tried to bury deep within yourself, yet they still quietly drain the peace from your soul. I see the words others once spoke to you, words you pretend to have forgotten, but in truth, they still remain. I see the fear of failure that keeps you from trying again, from loving again, from believing that something beautiful could still happen for you. I even see the moments when you silently blamed yourself while no one else knew. My beloved child, I do not overlook any of these things, but neither do I want you to carry them into the new chapter as the baggage of your life. I did not bring you out of darkness only for you to continue living under the control of old wounds. I am healing you from the root, not by teaching you how to hide your pain more skillfully, but by removing from your soul the power those wounds once held over you. Remember the woman who suffered from bleeding for 12 years. She had lived with pain for so long that it had become part of her identity. Yet, with only one touch of my garment, the old flow stopped. And so it is with you, my beloved child. There are streams of fear, shame, and weariness that have flowed within your heart for far too long, but I am calling them to cease. Not so that you may force yourself to become stronger through your own strength, but so that you may truly become free. That freedom does not come from never having painful memories again. It comes when those memories no longer control you, when you can look back without being dragged down into the old darkness, when you stop living in fear of what once broke you. When you begin believing that you are loved, not because you are perfect, but because I chose to love you before you even understood what worthiness meant. So today, my beloved child, do not fear when I lead you into the deepest places within your heart. I do not enter there to condemn you. I step into those places not to expose you in shame, but so that at last you may truly be healed. And then, when I complete this work within you, you will step into the new chapter not with the burdened striving of someone merely trying to survive, but with the lightness of a soul that has been set free. No longer walking with a heart bound by invisible chains, no longer living beneath the shadow of old words, you will walk. My beloved child, I know there are nights when you look back over your life and feel as though you have lost too much to ever begin again. There are losses that made you believe a part of your soul had been taken away beyond recovery. There were things you once held tightly in your hands, convinced that if you lost them, you would no longer know who you were. But my beloved child, I have never viewed loss as the end of the story. In my eyes, many things leaving your life are not destruction, but the crossing point between an old season and a new one. Behold, I make all things new, as in Revelation 21:5. I do not close one door unless I intend to open a path that is deeper and more aligned with your soul. There are things I allowed to fall from your hands, not because you were unworthy to keep them, but because they no longer fit the place where I am leading you. I know you wept as you watched what you loved slowly drift away. I saw your pain when the things that once gave you a sense of safety no longer remained. I heard the questions you carried silently when what you once trusted suddenly fell apart before your eyes. But my beloved child, hear me clearly. I do not take things away merely to create emptiness and sorrow. I redirect your soul toward the place that more truly belongs to the destiny I wrote for you from the beginning. A gardener must cut away branches that no longer bear fruit so that the tree may grow stronger and flourish. Pruning looks painful, but in the wisdom of the gardener, it is preparation for a greater season of fruitfulness. And so it is with you, my beloved child. What leaves your life does not always carry lack with it. Many times, it carries meaning. It creates space for me to build a new foundation, stronger, brighter, and higher than anything you have known before. You are not becoming less through this process. I am reshaping you, and as my light begins shining more clearly into your soul, you will realize something very profound. That light is not only healing old wounds, it is also correcting the way you see everything. There were years when you misunderstood many things about me. You once believed my silence meant abandonment, but my beloved child, many times I remained silent, because if I had answered too soon, you would have rushed through doors that did not belong to your season yet. Some silences were actually protection. Be still and know that I am God, as in Psalm 46:10. You once believed delay meant failure, but my light is showing you that I was only preparing you deeply enough to carry what I desired to give you without allowing it to break you. Just as David had to pass through wilderness seasons and years of being pursued before sitting upon the throne, there were things you needed to learn in darkness before stepping into the public place of your destiny. You once believed closed doors were punishment, but many times I closed them because I saw that what waited behind them would wound your soul if you entered too early or in the wrong place. My beloved child, I have never taken my eyes off you for even a single moment. I was there in every day when disappointment left you, unable to even know how to pray anymore. I was there in the seasons when you felt lost in life. I was there even when you thought you were carrying everything alone by your own strength. It was not because I abandoned you. It was because I was carrying you through. My light does not come to condemn you for being weak. My light comes to restore you to your rightful place, the place of a child who is loved, protected, and guided. And now, my beloved child, I want to touch the most important place within your heart, the way you see yourself. This is the deep wound I desire to heal, because perhaps you have learned how to forgive others, learned how to move forward, yet deep within, you still carry a distorted image of yourself. You still call yourself by names born from pain. At times you have seen yourself as broken, as someone always behind, as someone not good enough, not strong enough, not worthy enough. But when the veil falls away, I want you to see what I have always seen within you. You are no longer someone defined by old wounds. You are not as weak as you once condemned yourself for being. You are not someone left behind in life's race. I have never looked at you through the lens of comparison with others. I call you by the name I myself gave you. Fear not, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by name. You are mine. As in Isaiah 43:1, you carry within you a light that no one else can duplicate. You carry a spiritual sensitivity formed through the very seasons you once believed were destroying you. There are things others cannot see, yet you can sense them because I softened your heart through pain and taught your soul how to listen. There is a heavenly mark upon your life that no power can take away, and I am healing your identity so that you no longer live beneath the shadow of shame and fear. My beloved child, you are no longer stepping into a new chapter as someone merely trying to survive. You are entering it with the authority of one who knows they belong to me, not the arrogant authority of the world, but the gentle steadiness of a soul that has finally understood its true identity. Just as Esther entered the king's court no longer as a trembling orphan girl, but as one who understood she had been placed there at the right time and in the right place by my hand, you too are stepping into this new season with that same assurance. So today, stop looking at yourself through the eyes of former seasons. Do not continue calling yourself by the language of old wounds. Let my light redefine you from the beginning. You are not what was lost. You are what I am still building. You are not the leftover remains of painful seasons. You are the one I am preparing to carry my light into this world through a life that has been restored. My beloved child, when the veil falls from the eyes of your soul, I am not only showing you what has been wrong, I am also showing you what is waiting to be opened. For true light does not merely expose darkness, it also reveals paths that you could not see before. There were years when you stood before doors that seemed permanently closed. You thought that dream had died. You thought that opportunity had passed. You thought the most beautiful part of your life belonged only to the past. But my beloved child, many doors were never locked forever. They were simply waiting for the appointed time. And I speak to you today, the season of opening is far closer than you realize. I am opening your eyes to see the door of restoration that you no longer dared believe in. I am showing you the door of new connections, people who will not drain your soul, but who will walk beside you in light and life. I am awakening creative gifts that were once buried beneath fear, shame, and disappointment. There are dreams I planted within you from the very beginning that you once believed were lost forever. But my beloved child, what I plant with my own hand does not die simply because a dark season lasted a long time. For the gifts and the calling of God are irrevocable. As in Romans 11:29, those doors are not opening because you have finally become perfect. They are opening because you are now ready. There is a great difference between being capable and being mature. If I had opened them too early before, your soul would have carried those new things with old fears, old insecurities, and unhealed wounds. But now, I am making your eyes clearer. And when the eyes of your soul become clear, your hands also grow stronger. You no longer reach toward life with the same hesitation as before. When your hands grow stronger, your steps become steadier. And when your steps are steady, no force will be able to keep you behind forever again. My beloved child, I am leading you through 3 deeply sacred stages, from seeing to entering and then to possessing what I have promised. Many people stop at merely seeing. They hear the calling, they sense the light, but they do not continue forward because of fear. But I am teaching you to go farther than that. Just as the people of Israel were not only meant to see the promised land from a distance, but eventually to step into it, you too are being called to enter what I have prepared for you. I know you once feared beginning again. There were moments when you stood among brokenness without knowing where to go next. You wondered where to begin when everything familiar had changed so much. But my beloved child, I have never asked you to find the path alone. The Lord will guide you continually, as in Isaiah 58:11. I am placing within your soul a fresh leading of the Holy Spirit. You will begin sensing more clearly that inward flow, when to move forward, when to pause, what to open your heart to, and what you must finally release. There will be days when you are amazed to see how everything seems to coincidentally align in such strange and beautiful ways. Encounters arriving at the exact right moment, doors opening precisely when they are needed, words of confirmation coming in the hour your heart needs them most. But my beloved child, with me there are no coincidences. I am placing every stone upon the path before you, just as I once led Elijah to the brook Cherith exactly when he needed water, and then commanded ravens to bring him food during the season of drought. In the same way I am preparing for you quietly, yet with perfect precision. You no longer need to live in fear of losing your way. I go before you. You no longer need to panic over being deceived. My light will cover you and warn you. You no longer need to worry that you have fallen behind in the plan for your life. I am the one who keeps the rhythm of your time. What I ask of you is not control over everything, but simply that you walk with me each day with a soft and watchful heart. And my beloved child, the greatest thing I want you to understand today is this. The veil did not fall in order to prove how weak you are. It fell so that you could finally see your true place within my plan. You are no longer a victim of circumstances, no longer someone dragged behind by wrong seasons or by the decisions of others. You are not created merely to survive each day in weariness and fear. I chose you for something far greater than that. You are standing at the meeting place between the old and the new, not as someone lost, but as someone entrusted to prepare the way. There are other souls who will find hope when they see how I restored you. There are people trapped in darkness who will realize that light still exists because of your life. I am calling you to build, not merely survive. I am calling you to carry life, not simply struggle to keep yourself from collapsing. And from the moment your soul truly understands this, you will begin living differently, no longer small within your thinking, no longer trembling before every storm, as though you were abandoned in the middle of the sea. You will stand as one who knows clearly that storms still exist, but the one within you is greater than the storm itself. Remember the disciples upon the raging sea. They panicked because they saw only the waves and the wind, but I stood and spoke to the storm. My beloved child, I am teaching you to walk in that same peace, not because life will no longer contain storms, but because you know who is with you in the boat. So today, stop seeing yourself as someone endlessly pushed around by life without direction. See yourself through the eyes of heaven. You are one who has been called by name. You are one who carries my light. You are one being led into the land that matches your true identity. And when you walk within that awareness, nothing will be able to keep you in the old darkness anymore, because my light within you has begun to awaken fully. My beloved child, I have seen the spiritual wings within you for a very long time. Even when you yourself forgot that you had them, I saw the seasons that caused those wings to fold inward beneath disappointment. I saw the fears that made your soul afraid to spread itself open again. I saw the pressure, the pain, and the limitations of circumstances weigh upon you until you learned merely how to survive instead of truly live. But my beloved child, I did not create you to spend your life dragging yourself forward with folded wings. Those who wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings. And now I am touching every part of your soul, loosening the invisible cords that once kept you low, straightening the places bent by pain, and reopening what fear tried to close. I am not calling you to fly in order to escape life. I am not lifting you higher so that you become distant from people or cold toward the world. I am calling you to fly so that you stop living beneath the ground level of old chains. An eagle does not soar because of pride. It soars because that is the nature I created within it. And so it is with you, my beloved child. I did not create your soul to spend its life crawling beneath fear, shame, and the limitations others placed upon you. I created you to see life from the perspective of heaven, where things are no longer defined merely by present pain, but by the eternal purpose I wrote upon your life. When I open those wings within you, you will begin to see everything differently. The things that once made you tremble will no longer seem as great as before, not because the trials disappear, but because your perspective has changed. The one standing on the ground sees only the wall. The one soaring above sees the path beyond it. My beloved child, I am lifting your soul out of the place of limitation so that you may see life through new light and clarity. And when those wings truly begin to unfold, your new chapter will no longer remain only a distant promise. It will become a clear direction for your soul. You will no longer merely pray for me to change your life while still clinging to old cages. For once the veil has fallen away, you cannot continue living as before. You can no longer pretend not to see what I have revealed within my light. You cannot return to living within the old blindness your heart once found familiar. There are journeys I have already called you to leave behind. And my beloved child, deep within your heart, you already know this. There are doors that, if you reopen them, your soul will begin to suffocate again. There are old ways of thinking that once caused you to diminish your own worth. There were ways of loving that required you to lose yourself in order to keep others near. But now, I am calling you out of all those things, not through anger or bitterness, but through a new awareness of your true identity. You are no longer someone merely sitting and waiting for a miracle to arrive from outside yourself. My beloved child, your life itself is becoming the miracle I am performing in this world. A heart once broken that still knows how to love. A soul once filled with fear that now dares to move forward. A person once living in darkness who now carries light for others. That itself is the miracle. And so the veil did not fall merely so you could see more clearly. It fell so that you could change. Now I am placing into your hands something deeply sacred, authority. Not the kind of worldly power used to control or dominate others, but the spiritual authority of one who has finally understood who they are within me. Behold, I have given you authority. As in Luke 10, I give you the authority to say enough to the old season whose time over your life has ended. I give you authority to close doors that no longer belong to you without carrying guilt. Authority to say no to emotional chains that once controlled you through fear and lack. Authority to step out of invisible covenants of pain, places where you once believed you always had to endure, always had to sacrifice yourself in order to be loved. I am breaking those chains from your soul. You have the right to choose what is better without believing yourself selfish. You have the right to step into new territory without asking fear for permission. You have the right to begin again without shame over what lies behind you. Remember the prodigal son when he returned home. The father did not force him to live forever beneath the identity of his former failure. He clothed him with a new robe, placed a new ring upon him, and called him son. I am doing the same for you, my beloved child. And the most beautiful thing I am healing within you is the way you see yourself. I am teaching you to love your soul again through my light, not through pride, but through truth. You no longer need to punish yourself for former seasons. You no longer need to carry the names born from old wounds. I am placing upon you a new identity, one who is loved, called, chosen, and sent forth. So today, my beloved child, rise up within the authority I have given you, no longer with the fragile hope of someone terrified of failure. You now walk with the certainty of one who knows heaven itself has signed its name upon their life. Not because you must become perfect overnight, but because you now understand that you no longer belong to the old region of darkness. Speak to your future with this new faith. I am ready. Then spread the wings I am opening within you and step into the sky. Your soul was born to belong there, no longer bowed low in fear, but soaring high in the light, freedom, and life I appointed for you from the beginning. My beloved child, I want you to understand something very deep in this season. Not everyone who draws near to you carries the same source of light. There are souls I send to soothe your heart, to walk beside you, and to help you grow in peace. But there are also encounters I allow as a test of discernment. And my beloved child, darkness no longer always appears as obvious evil as it once did. It has learned how to disguise itself. It comes not with a shout, but with gentle words lacking truth. It does not break down the door of your soul. It asks to come in through the feeling of being understood, noticed, and loved in a way that can easily cause your tender heart to open too quickly. That is why I am calling you into a season of deeper discernment. Not so you become suspicious of everyone, nor so you close your heart in fear. I do not want your heart to turn to stone, but I do want your spiritual eyes to open so you can see beyond the surface of emotion. Test the spirits to see whether they are from God, as in 1 John 4:1. There are things that feel very right to your emotions, yet do not lead your soul closer to me. And there are things that may not feel intense at first, yet carry the lasting peace of heaven. I know your heart is tender, my beloved child. I know you always desire to love sincerely and also long to be loved in truth. You are easily moved by care. You are touched when someone sees the hidden places within your heart, and that is not wrong. I created your soul with the capacity for deep connection and love. But true love is not a door thrown open for anyone to enter. Mature love is a gate guarded by wisdom and discernment. If you open your heart without asking me, there are people who may touch places that were meant to belong only to my presence, not because they always intend to harm you, but because they enter with their own needs rather than with the light I have prepared for you. There are souls who are not seeking unity and truth. They are seeking shelter for their own emptiness. And if you are not watchful, you will begin carrying their burdens as though it were your responsibility to heal them. Do you recognize this, my beloved child? Lately, there have been people who appeared very quickly in your life. They spoke words that warmed your heart, They seem to understand you in a way few ever had. They touch the hidden pains you rarely reveal. And then you began to feel seen. But afterward, in the silence of your soul, something within you slowly grew tired. Peace began to move away from the center. Your mind became heavier. You thought more and prayed less. You paid more attention to them than you did to listening for me. My beloved child, that is a sign. Not everyone who stirs your heart is sent to remain. Not every deep connection has its origin in heaven. Some connections are allowed only to teach you the difference between my voice and the voice of unhealed emotion. For emotions can feel very strong, but my presence always carries peace, clarity, and freedom. The wisdom from above is first pure, then peaceable and full of mercy, as in James 3:17. When a connection causes you to lose deep inner peace and draws you away from your spiritual center, you must pause and listen to me more carefully. I do not want you to close your heart because you fear being hurt, but I also do not want you to call every familiar feeling love. Some people understand your wounds because they carry similar wounds themselves, but empathy and pain is not always unity and light. Two people lost in the same darkness may make each other feel less alone for a while, but that does not mean they are leading each other toward life. Remember Samson, my beloved child. He was mighty in power, yet weak in discernment. He opened his heart to what stirred his emotions without realizing that it was quietly cutting away the source of his spiritual strength. I do not tell you this to make you afraid of love. I tell you so you may understand that a chosen heart must be guarded with watchfulness. I am teaching you a more mature kind of love, a love that knows how to slow down and listen to me before opening deeper doors to anyone. Connections that truly come from heaven will not cause you to lose yourself. They will not pull you away from my presence. They will not leave your soul restless or emotionally dependent. True love does not try to possess your light. It honors that light and walks within it beside you. So today, my beloved child, do not only ask, does this person understand me? Ask more deeply, am I nearer to God when I am near them? Does my soul draw closer to me? Do not look only at the feeling of being noticed. Look at the fruit that connection produces within you. Does it lead you toward peace or confusion, toward clarity or fogginess, toward freedom or emotional dependency? I am training you, not merely among obvious enemies, but within ordinary human interactions, places where you must learn to recognize my voice, among many others. And my beloved child, this does not make you weaker. It is maturing the discernment within you, so that in time you will no longer open your heart simply because you feel lonely or seen. You will love through light, through truth, and through the leading of the Holy Spirit. Keep your heart soft, yet watchful, gentle, yet with boundaries, loving, yet without losing the center of peace I have placed within you. For you were not called to belong to any human possession. You belong first to me, and anyone truly sent from heaven will never pull you away from that light. They will walk with you deeper into it. My beloved child, I want you to understand that kindness is a beautiful gift I placed within your soul. But if it is not guided by wisdom, it can become a doorway through which you are wounded more deeply. The world often teaches that love means always remaining open to everyone, always sacrificing yourself until empty, always holding on to people at any cost. But my beloved child, true love is not losing your own soul in order to save what I never asked you to keep. Be wise as serpents and innocent as doves, as in Matthew 10:16. I am not calling you to become cold or suspicious of everyone. I am simply teaching you that light must be protected by discernment. There are people who will enter your life and see your goodness as an easy place to rest themselves. They know how to use gentle words to touch your heart. They know how to make you feel responsible to save them, heal them, or carry their burdens. And because your compassion is so deep, you can easily confuse empathy with calling. But my beloved child, not every pain you see is your responsibility to carry. There are burdens I never placed upon your shoulders. If you try to carry everything by your own strength, you will become exhausted before stepping into what I truly assigned to you. Kindness without discernment eventually becomes something easily exploited, and mercy without boundaries will eventually become chains upon your own soul. I did not create you to be drained by connections that pull you away from the center of peace I placed within you. That is why I am teaching you to love with wisdom, to help through prayer, and to give through the leading of the Holy Spirit, not merely through temporary emotion. There will be times when the most loving thing you can do is keep your distance. There will be moments when the holiest word you can speak is no. My beloved child, do not view the fractures appearing within certain relationships as failure. Many times they are heaven's purification. I am allowing what is not genuine to be exposed beneath the light. There are people who walk beside you during former seasons, but are not anointed for the new one, not because they are evil, but because their journey and yours no longer move in the same direction. Remember Abraham and Lot. There came a time when they had to separate so that both could step into the land I had appointed for each of them. That separation was not hatred, it was divine arrangement. Do not try to hold on to what I am gently removing from your hands. Do not ask me to restore what heaven has already stopped breathing life into, for if you cling to what I desire to take away, you will no longer have room to receive what I am preparing to give you. A farmer does not cling so tightly to the old season that he refuses to sow seeds for the new one. And so it is with you, my beloved child. I do not remove things in order to leave you empty. I make room so that new life may enter. Therefore, be still through this process of purification, and do not argue with the destiny I am writing for you. Some separations are not victories of darkness, but moments where I am separating you from what no longer fits your soul. When the dust of emotion settles, you will begin to see clearly who truly carries light and who merely reflects a false light designed to attract you. My beloved child, false light often looks very real in the beginning. It comes through sweet words and warm tones and the feeling of being quickly understood. But learn to look deeper than the surface. True love does not leave your soul dependent and restless. It does not steal your spiritual clarity. It does not pull you away from my presence. True love leads you toward freedom, peace, and maturity within me. There are connections that appear to be love, but are actually only the need to possess wrapped in emotion. False love enjoys making you constantly need it. It wants to become your source instead of leading you to the true source. It may cry with you, yet never intercede for your soul. It may care about your pain, yet feel uneasy when you become stronger and freer within me. For when you become whole in me, it loses its control over you. That is why I am teaching you to listen not only with physical ears, but with a soul enlightened by the Holy Spirit. When someone says they love you or care for you, do not look only at the emotions they create. Bring that connection before me in prayer. Ask, Father, what is the true source of this relationship? Because, my beloved child, what comes from me will never cause your soul to lose itself. Remember Samson and Delilah? Samson did not lose his strength in a single night. He lost it little by little through closeness without discernment. The enemy does not always appear through obvious threats. Many times it comes through what makes you feel loved and needed. But I do not tell you this to make you afraid of love. I tell you so you may understand that a chosen heart must be guarded with light and watchfulness. My beloved child, I am not isolating you. I am refining your discernment so that later, when connections truly sent from heaven enter your life, you will no longer confuse possession with unity. The person truly sent from me will not pull you away from the light. They will not require you to become smaller so they can feel greater. They will not manipulate your soul through emotion. They will walk with you deeper into the freedom, peace, and purpose I have prepared for both of you. So today, my beloved child, stop feeling guilty when I teach you to establish boundaries. Boundaries do not destroy love. Many times they protect what is holy within love. And when you learn this discernment, you will no longer love out of fear of abandonment. You will love through light, through truth, and through the steadiness of one who knows they belong first to me. My beloved child, I want you to remember this deeply. Not everyone who appears when you are weak is sent from heaven. There are people who step into your life at the very moment your soul is weary, at the very moment you long for a hand to hold you, and they speak words that soften your heart very quickly. They make you believe that finally someone understands you, sees you, listens to you. But my beloved child, this is exactly where discernment must awaken most strongly. For the subtle enemy does not always come through obvious evil. It comes through half-truths. It knows you long to be seen, so it pretends to see you. It knows you need shelter, so it disguises itself as a refuge for your heart. But Satan himself masquerades as an angel of light. I do not say this to make you afraid of people. I am protecting your soul from connections that create emotional dependency while disguising themselves as love. My beloved child, do not let your life be defined by hands that were never anointed to touch your soul. Not everyone knows how to love without wounding the hidden places within you. Only the Father's hand can touch your brokenness without exploiting your vulnerability. Only I can see your entire soul and still love you through freedom instead of control. There are seasons when I lead you into silence, not to isolate you, but to heal your spiritual hearing. You once cried out, "Father, why does no one stay?" But my beloved child, many times I allowed certain people to leave because my voice could not be heard clearly amid the noise of too many misdirected connections. Every person I remove from your life is not always punishment. Many times it is interference. I am clearing away so that you may hear heaven again with greater clarity. Silence is not an empty void of death. It is the furnace of discernment. It is precisely within those spaces where there is no one left for you to cling to emotionally that your soul begins learning how to find comfort directly from me rather than from human attention. And then you will realize something very beautiful. True love does not rush to possess your soul. It does not shout in order to be noticed. It does not pull you away from the center of your peace. True love causes you to draw closer to me, closer to your true self, and closer to freedom. My beloved child, there are times when what I must protect is not only you from others, but also you from the unhealed emotions still within yourself. For the enemy does not always need to tell blatant lies. Sometimes it only needs to make you addicted to the feeling of being needed, being cared for, being intensely connected, and then your soul begins confusing emotional stimulation with spiritual peace. There are connections that make your heart race, while your soul slowly grows exhausted. There are people who move your emotions deeply, while quietly pulling you farther from my presence day by day without you realizing it. That is why I am teaching you a deeply sacred art, sensing the Holy Spirit within every small movement of your heart, not so that you close yourself off and live suspicious of everything, but so that you open your heart in the right direction. The love I give always walks alongside respect. It does not force, it does not invade, it does not manipulate through emotion or guilt. I do not need to control you in order to keep you close to me. I wait for you in freedom, and anything that causes you to lose that freedom, even if wrapped in spiritual language, tears, or prayers that sound beautiful, you must step back and listen to me more carefully. If a connection causes you to no longer pray as you once did, no longer hunger for my presence as before, no longer maintain deep inner peace, then my beloved child, that itself is already the answer. You do not need another sign. What comes from me will not make your soul smaller. It will not cause you to depend upon human validation. It will not drain the light I am restoring within you. I know your heart is compassionate, and that is something beautiful. But do not let compassion cause you to forget that you also are one who has been anointed and entrusted with the responsibility of protecting your own soul. Compassion must walk together with wisdom. Love must walk together with boundaries. The enemy fears a gentle soul that knows how to establish limits, because then it can no longer manipulate through emotion. I am teaching you how to love without becoming dependent, how to draw close without losing yourself, how to give without allowing the life within you to be drained away. Look to me and learn. I love humanity with perfect love, yet I often withdrew into quiet places to be alone with the Father. Even my Son did not open the deepest places of his heart to everyone, though he loved them all. Mature love does not mean giving every person permission to enter every hidden chamber of your soul. So today, my beloved child, if there is something or someone pulling you away from my voice, do not be afraid to step back in peace. There is no need for anger, no need for condemnation. Simply step back beneath the light of discernment. For every step you take away from what is leading you in the wrong direction is a step drawing you closer to me. And believe this, when you are willing to release the connections I have not blessed, I will not leave your life empty forever. I will bring the right people, anointed for your new journey, people who do not come to take your light but to shine alongside you. They will not leave your soul exhausted. They will not pull you into emotional chaos. They will lift you closer to me, stronger within me, and freer within me. For, my beloved child, true love from heaven never causes you to lose yourself. It leads you back into the fullness of who I created you to become.